In March 2016 with the sky mirror day by day. I got a chart all drawn up for you. There it is. The ouch is for New York. After I get done with the sky mirror, I'm going to spend the rest of the show detailing, hopefully the last detailing of the technology I used to make the prediction about the hit on New York City. 419, 420, around there. But first, let's get the business done here and find out what it's going to be like for you over the next couple of 10 days, huh? What's it look like? Well, Jupiter and Saturn are lined up in square. There's gridlock. Here's Democrats and Republicans blocking each other. Pluto and Uranus are still in square. Sudden, panicky isolationism things. And the Sun is going to be, well, it starts off with Neptune. And so there's a lot of dreamy stuff going on here as you start your week. And after the Sun goes by Neptune, it's moving from 7 degrees to 17 degrees Pisces. At your end of next week on Sunday, it's squaring Saturn and opposing Jupiter, and you'll see what that gridlock is really about. There's some trines here, too. It isn't just getting blocked and stopped and opposed and hung up with squares and oppositions. We've got a couple of trines that release this stuff. And like here's Pluto trining Jupiter. Wow. There's some wisdom about this power and control. And here's Uranus trining Saturn. Interesting thing. It makes a little pattern when you draw out these angles, huh? You can see here's the trine and the trine, and they focus right here. Here's a square at the top, and they make a symmetrical pattern is what I'm getting at. That's when you know that life is going to have some dense places. Day by day, let's check it out. The moon around the edge of it tells us the mood of the times as it makes angles to these planets. I put them in blue when they're sextiles and trines and things happen easily, and in red when they're squares and oppositions, and you get the high energy difficulties. And if you're on a Thursday night show, well, you had started off around dinner time with a nice sextile to Saturn, and you were all well organized, but around 10, 11 o'clock Thursday night, in comes the square to Pluto, a little panicky, and then the opposition to Uranus. Is the wind blowing down the electrical lines? Is the internet down? Thursday night. Friday, you'll still be feeling a little shocky from the interruptions of late Thursday night, until on Saturday, the 27th, the moon shifts into Scorpio, a fixed water sign. Things are different. They mellow out. Saturday night, here's a trine to the Sun. And then late Saturday night after dinner, there's a nice trine to Neptune. So there's music and art and a dreamy condition that is very imaginative if you use the trines properly. Probably a lot of you are going to drink too much. It'll be too easy. And Sunday morning, the 28th, here's the square from Venus. Up, there's no rest. I can't sleep. I had no satisfaction. So Sunday morning isn't so hot. It gets a lot better in the middle of the day with a sextile to Pluto. You get power. And in the afternoon and evening, a sextile to Jupiter, there's wisdom coming out here that could be very helpful in the handling of Pluto stuff. Police and guns and all that stuff. You know that bombing people with a bomber over in the Far East is the same, or in the Near East is the same as a policeman with the gun saying, "Follow my commands or else." I mean, it's the same Pluto vibes, the bomber, and he has the advantage. You can't hit him back. And there's a policeman. He has the advantage. You can't hit him back. That's power and control. And so a microcosm, macrocosm. If we stopped the bombing, maybe the police would stop killing everybody. And themselves, too. Poor policemen. Anyway, Monday the moon's still in Scorpio, as you start your Monday, and you're in the Mars zone here. There's a square to Mercury, so it's difficult to get going. Communication problems, but that's like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, huh? By the time you're ready to get out and get doing, the moon's on Mars. There's lots of energy. Go out and fix something, boy. That's what's fun. Be a hero. Yeah. Don't overdo it. Ask yourself what you're protecting. Don't get hot under the collar. Get the physical work done. That's for Monday, the 29th of February. That's your extra day, by the way. I marked it here. Every 4 years you have a 29th of February. The rest of the time there's no 29th. There's only 28 days. But they have to put the extra year in because our calendar is flawed. The Mayans did a better job at it, but enough of that. Tuesday, the moon's in Sagittarius. Moves into Sagittarius Monday after lunch. And some of those heavy-duty vibes of aggression mellow out. But it goes and turns into confusion Tuesday morning on March 1st. Here's a square to Neptune early in the morning. Problems with liquids. And then as you go towards lunch, there's a square to the Sun. You're not getting anything done. You still got a hangover? Hope not. It's just confusion, normal confusion. And all the confusion results in a gridlock, which happens Tuesday night as the moon goes by Saturn. It squares Jupiter. Tuesday night, you're just kind of stuck. And you have to go slow, plan carefully. Wednesday morning, there's a sextile to Mercury and a trine to Uranus. And suddenly things all get going. The media comes out and the machines and the battery works again. And, there's a little brotherhood around. Common sense rules Wednesday morning, March 2nd. On the 3rd, the moon's in Capricorn. And starts out pretty nice. Here, Thursday night is a sextile to Neptune. And there's music and prayer and inspiration and color and art. It's nice. And then there's a nice sextile to the Sun late. This is midnight, and you have a plan. I'm going to get some things done. Look out, you might be in a little delusion because the next day, Friday, we're going to hit that Pluto-Uranus square. Everybody goes into territoriality. Pluto is a difficult guy right now, and the way he's moving, he's got a lot of encouragement from Jupiter, but when it starts for you, it'll start with Pluto, power and control issues, territory. Yeah, and then it squares Uranus, and suddenly they're an alone feeling and alarm. This is your panicky alarm bell period. When the trine to Jupiter happens, which is about the middle of Friday, about noontime or just after lunch, it all there's the truth of it. It was a false alarm or something of that nature. So we can diffuse the panicky feeling with a little honest information. On Saturday morning, the moon's still in Capricorn. There's a nice sextile to Mars. Good time to get out and exercise and do some things, physical things. Go out and be a hero and fix things Saturday morning. Just before lunch, the moon shifts into Aquarius, and it's a different vibe again. A little bit of aloneness, but a lot of common sense. And as you go towards Sunday morning, you're in the Venus zone. There's Venus. She really comes in most strongly here Sunday night. The moon goes by Venus. But before that, here's a nice sextile to Saturn. Sunday, you got yourself organized. Here's a sextile to Uranus. There's brotherhood and the machines and the internet's working. And it feels kind of good. Maybe everything is just going to be fine. Saturn and Uranus in trine. Feels good. That's management in the unions, Saturn and Uranus. They don't often agree, but they're agreeing now for some reason. Don't know why. Sunday night, here's the conjunction to Venus, and it's going to get sweet and kind of sexy. And stay up late Sunday and enjoy yourself. Monday, well, in the middle of the day, here's a square to Mars. People are ticked off, they're angry, they're impatient. So be prepared for Monday on the 7th with some Ask yourself what you're protecting. Ouch! Is that New York? More on that shortly.